YouTube? Desmond here, ECoastArb, coming to you with day 26 of the 30 by 30 challenge. Using the KEEPA product finder to source profitable products for Amazon FBA. And we're going to do something a little bit different today. I don't know if we've done a video on this yet, but if we have, we're doing it again. And our main focus today is products with no sales rank. And that sounds a little counterintuitive, but that's what makes it a good place to target. Just because the product does not have a sales rank does not mean that it is not selling through. And oftentimes a lot of sellers avoid products with no sales rank, which is why I like to target it sometimes, because there's a lot of good opportunities. And if you know how to read through the data, you can still make a good purchase, even with no sales rank. And also a lot of, not only is there less competition typically on a product with no sales rank, usually there is a lot less chance of a product tanking in price, because generally speaking, the people that are doing that type of thing are newer sellers, and newer sellers avoid products with no sale rank at all costs because they don't know how to read the data. So that's what we're doing today. We got the no sales rank clicked on. I've got some buy box filters in here between 30 and 50. I've set it a couple days now. I'm trying to get my PPU up a little bit, so I'm targeting more expensive products. Also got a 90-day drop, negative 30 to 10, meaning this price has not fluctuated more than 30% increase or 10% decrease in the last 90 days. I know that sounds a little backwards, but that is how it works. Got a few more filters in here for you. We are in the beauty and personal care category. You might be tired of seeing me source beauty products, but that is my favorite category currently, so I'm most comfortable sourcing it, and it works for me. If you are into a different category, just change it. Use these filters on what works for you. There's plenty of products across all categories that are unranked and still selling. I promise. Also have our 90-day average offer count for 2. And that's really important here because it weeds out a ton of private label products. And you can see currently we've got 269 products on our list. And if I take this out, it doubles essentially. So, and not saying that all of those products are private label. I'm sure there's opportunities where there's only one seller and it is third party. We're just not targeting that today. I try to get my list to a manageable level. 500 plus is just a little too much for me, but this 269 might be a little on the high side for going through one day, but across 2 or 3 days, I can definitely go through this entire list manually. And that's really been the key to my success in sourcing, is going through the entire list every time and not stopping short, because a lot of people will stop short. And if you're willing to go that extra mile, you're going to find a lot of things that other people aren't finding. And that has really been key for me in improving my sourcing game. Also have our review count set to a 20 minimum. And I also put in a 90-day drop here. I'm not sure if it did a ton. Let's take it out and see. Okay, so yeah, it actually did. We got negative 30 here, which means our review count could have increased up to 30% in the last 90 days, which is a good indicator of a product selling through. And I think that's it for you. Yeah, that's it. So 269, let's see what we can find. And hopefully we will get you a couple wins. Got some hair vitamins here if you need to grow your hair out. This is a good product for you. And when I'm sourcing products with no sales rank, before I even try to find it profitably, I typically want to look at this KEEPA chart here and make sure that this product is actually selling. And the best way to do that is we're pretty much going to not look at this top chart today, not at this point in our sourcing at least. We would definitely look at that once we determine we want to try to source a product. But when you're focusing on no sales rank, you want to make sure it's selling first before you even try to find it profitably. Even if we can find it profitably, if it's not selling, it's not something I'm interested in buying. So we can do that with our bottom chart here. And looking at this one, I would definitely say it's selling through. You can see our offer counts coming up and going down, and it's fluctuating, which is a good sign of sell through. And also our review count is steadily climbing here, which is another good indication of sales. You can't have reviews without sales. So this product is most definitely selling through. And our buy box is up and down quite a bit here. Looks like it's dropping down to the 17, 18 mark and then coming back up to 30. But it's coming up to 30 a lot. So that's a good indication of buy box rotation. And we can see here there's just a couple of sellers coming in at that 18 mark, and most everybody else is in the 30s here. So we're going to let those lower end sellers sell through. We're going to let them sell through at 19, and then we're going to come in at 32, 33 and still get some sales. And it looks like the product is selling at that rate, at that price. Holding 33.50 here, and our stock count is slowly crumbling down, which is a good indication of sales. So let's see if we can find it profitably. Can we get it for 17 bucks? Might be a little tough to do. We got a 20.99 here, which is probably going to be our closest bet. Not a ton of results, which is not uncommon when you're sourcing stuff with no sales rank. A lot of times you're going to have to dig a little bit deeper to find these types of products, but that is just another barrier that makes them good products to target sometimes and to sell, because the harder it is for me to find a product, the harder it is for other sellers to also find that product. And if I can find it, most of them maybe can't, and we can have a good opportunity here. So let's see if we can make this, and it looks like we got $10 added on top for shipping, which is probably going to not make this worth it anymore. Let's see. I think there was a couple. Probably not going to work here either. We're at 24. We need to be at 17, I believe it was. So I'm going to keep moving through here, and let's go right on down to the next one. Hairbrush, a little bit on the expensive side, I think, for a hairbrush, but we don't discriminate. If it's profitable, it's profitable. We don't care why somebody pays what they pay for a product on Amazon, as long as they're paying it and we can profit off of it. We're good. So let's double check, make sure it's selling through. Definitely some sales here. I would not consider it a lot. Our review count has dropped or come up just a few over our 90-day period, but you can see a couple of sellers are falling off and a couple coming back on. So it is selling through, maybe not as much as that last product. But if we look at our stock counts here, we can see people stair stepping down and coming back up. So definitely a few sales here at least. Can we get it for 19 bucks is the next question, and we may. A little skeptical about this particular website. Looks really generic, off the wall. It does say they take PayPal. So we would be covered if we did buy it. That is definitely a match product wise. And we have got it here for $16.61, which would give us a roughly, it's actually buy boxing a bit more than this now, but that is a FBM seller. And it looks like everybody's FBM here, so this could be a opportunity to come in and take over the buy box, in my opinion. With no FBA offers on it, we could probably come up a couple bucks from here and potentially take over the buy box just for the delivery speed. So say we're at 30, 36, 37. I would think we could probably go at least 38 here, showing 1150 profit, almost 70% ROI. I don't know anything about this particular source. It seems a bit sketchy to me, so I would definitely do some research on it before buying. But they do offer PayPal, so that is a little bit of peace of mind, but that's definitely not the only thing I would take into account when I'm buying. And it looks like our shipping time here is going to be probably 2 to 3 weeks, most likely a little bit more. So that's something to take into account here. So just for that, I would probably be out, but might have a few other options here. Maybe, maybe not. And this is another overseas website. Going to be dealing with some really late deliveries here, and sometimes I question the authenticity of some of these products as well when you're sourcing overseas. So we're going to keep moving on that one, but it would be profitable assuming everything checks out. Got some nail clippers here for 30 bucks, and I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's probably not selling too well. And maybe that's interesting. That's a pretty, so this is a very significant rise in review count. And I'm not really sure why that would have happened here. I went from 515 up to 650 instantly, which is typically a sign of merging with a parent ASIN. But this particular product is not a variation, so I'm not really sure what happened here. But it looks like we could maybe potentially have a few sales. Not really sure. Let's look at our stock counts here. It looks like nobody has moved stock wise. Let's go to our historicals. Yeah, I don't see any movement here, and I can kind of see why 30 bucks for a pair of nail clippers might be a bit much. So we're going to skip that one and come on down the list here. Got some shampoo. Buy box at 46 bucks. And definitely some sell through here. Our review count is going up and to the right. We're increasing. Our offer count is also fluctuating both up and down, which is a pretty good sign for sell through too. So I would definitely say there's some sales here, and we can look at our stock counts just to verify that. And it looks like maybe a few, not a ton. Let's go to historical. It's important to click that historical offer when you're looking at stock counts, because some of these sellers may have dropped off and are not restocking. So there's some sales happening here, I would think, with the stock or with the offer count dropping off. But our stock count as you click it here, it does not include the historicals. So these could just be people that are not priced competitively sometimes, or maybe they're just, a lot of these, looks like all of these are FBM offers. So maybe let's go include here and see if anybody has sold through. And it looks like maybe a couple of sales here, and possibly a couple here as well. Overall, not a ton. Let's see, just out of curiosity, can we get it profitably? And I don't see a ton of results here, which again is very typical when you're sourcing products with no sales rank. They're usually a little more off the wall brands, not always, not every single scenario. And we're going to keep moving past this one, trying to find something a little better for you. Definitely a lot of no's when you're sourcing specifically no sales rank. So you've got to be able to weed through that efficiently. But when you find that win, it's usually a really good win. And just looking at this, I'm going to say this one's probably not selling through. So we're going to keep moving past this one too. Probably going to be the same case here. I've sourced enough with the no sales rank filter on to kind of know what to look for, and maybe just a few. Looks like our offer count went up by 1 here, and went from 160 to 163. So maybe some sales here, and that shows with our offer count dropping out. So it could be a couple. Wouldn't consider it too many. Let's see if we can get it profitably. Seems like a little bit of an off the wall product here too. Yeah, I'm going to keep moving past this one as well. And it is important to remember when you're sourcing, you almost kind of got to get things down to a process. Sometimes I like to make a list, a checklist of things that I am looking for, and basically just write down everything that you're going to do. So in this instance, when we're sourcing stuff with no sales rank, step 1 is going to be to come down here to our reviews and our offer count and see if sales are actually happening. And you can see here that they're probably not. 105 to 107 could be a few sales here, but not really what we're looking for. So we're just going to keep moving past that. And it's good to get your sourcing down to a process and a step by step. And when you get to a step that doesn't check out, you have to be able to just click X and keep moving, because that's how you're going to make your sourcing efficient. And no matter how much time you put into a product previously. So if there's 10 steps on my list to source and I'm on step 8 and something doesn't check out, that's it for that product. Click X, keep going. Now you can maybe put it in a look back list or a spreadsheet to come back to at a different point in time. I do that a lot. But as far as buying something now, if all my steps don't check out, I don't buy it. Regardless of how good it looks, regardless of how much profit is there, if all the steps don't check out, I don't buy it. And that has really helped me focus on making better buys, and I find myself not making as many bad buys. Everybody makes bad buys. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how long you've been doing it. It definitely happens to everybody. So just because you make a bad buy, don't get down about it. Don't feel like anything about it. But it's important to create processes that can minimize making bad buys. And that's really helped me in maximizing some of my profits. And it looks like this one had a sales rank for a little while and then lost it. Got it back. Lost it again. Our review count is creeping up rather slowly, but it is creeping. So definitely a few sales happening here, and you can kind of see that in our sales rank. And let's go to our offer count here. And yeah, so definitely some sales happening here. We went from 265 down to about 120 in, let's see, March, about 2 months. So good sale through here. Only one seller on it. Let's make sure that it is not a private label or something like that. And it looks like it had 2 sellers on it and one dropped off. Let's see. Let's include our historical here. So I don't see any other sales, but looks like this was warehouse deals and this was a MF offer. So our prime offer is selling through. Don't know if we're going to be able to find this particular product. It looks a little bit generic. Actually, and see, this looks, this sunny at, this looks a little bit computer generated, like they took this image and edited their name onto the box itself, which is whoever's selling it, and they're probably, yeah, they're branding it as their own. But, and I could be wrong here, this could be what's actually on the box, but it just doesn't look that way to me. But with it being branded as their own, we're probably not going to be able to sell it, so I'm not going to waste any time looking into it. And we've got some Spanish Avena here. And step 1 is to make sure it's selling through. Looks like we got our offer count dropping and coming back on. Our reviews are climbing at a decent rate, not a ton, but there are some sales happening here. I'm going to guess and say we're probably not going to be able to source this in the United States, but I could also be wrong. Let's see. Don't know anything about this particular website, but 950 milliliters, is that where we're at here? Okay. We do have a product match, and I'm assuming this is coming from out of the country. Just looking at that shipping fee, which is probably going to make it not profitable for me. But it would be profitable if I didn't have that crazy shipping fee in there. But we're not going to focus on that. And I'm going to try to crank you a win out. And it might not happen today. We got about 5 minutes on the clock here. And again, when you're sourcing stuff that has no sales rank, it can be a little almost like you're banging your head against the wall sometimes. You're going to go through a ton of no's. A lot of no's. But we're really looking for our diamond in the rough here. We're looking for that one product that we can come back to time and time again that everyone else is kind of overlooking. And definitely some sell through here. Looks like this product had a rank for the last basically 3 months and then lost it a day or two ago for whatever reason. I'm not really sure. Let's see if we can get it for $21. Not sure if this is going to be a match, but if it is, we might be in luck here. 3 milliliters, and looks like this is sold by a third-party seller, and I do not buy anything third-party, so we're going to click right out of that. And I'm guessing probably most people that are selling this are sourcing it overseas, like we see here. For $7 to $8, and I don't do that. Looks like they're all going to be that way. Yep. So let's keep moving. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. That's what you got to do when you're sourcing. Over and over, no matter how frustrating it gets, no matter how much you feel like you're beating your head against the wall, I promise if you go through and keep going, keep pushing, you will find profitable products. They are out there. Definitely a little bit of sell through here. Our review count looks like it's climbing up pretty decent. There are big steps here, which I'm not really sure why that would be. But our offer count is going up and down. Looks like some people dropped off and came back home maybe. And Ustra. Let's see if we can find this beard oil stuff for $24. Might actually be in luck here. This is probably going to be another import looking at these price deals here. So I'm not sure what the conversion is on that, but I'm not sure what Distacart is either. I've never heard of that. Okay, Indian products at your doorstep. So it's going to be another import here. Not really uncommon when you're trying to source stuff with no sales rank, but I'm not interested in stuff like that. And I promise, no matter how this video ends up, you can actually source products with no sales rank that are good, profitable products. And looks like Amazon is on this one. Let's see if they share the buy box any. So not really a bunch, just a little tiny bit here. But a lot of sell through here. You can see our review count in the last 90 days has gone from 140 basically up to a little over 230. So quite a bit of reviews in the last 90 days. Definitely some good sell through here. Even though this product is unranked, this is a good example of a unranked product that is still selling very, very well. And a lot of sell through here. And Amazon is not sharing a ton. And I do not compete with Amazon, but let's see if this, okay, so this is actually not a really good variation. So that's another thing to look out for on a variation listing is this KEEPA chart. And I don't know if you already know this. I didn't know this until recently. On a variation page, even when you click on or have selected the variation you are looking at, this chart does not specifically refer to that variation. This is for the entire ASIN. So when we go to our variation page, we can see that the particular variation that we are looking at only has 8. And although it has sold a little bit in the past month or two, looks like we went from 5 to 8 on our ratings. Oh, there's our time clock. Looks like we went from 5 to 8 on our ratings here, so definitely had a few sales, but nothing close to what we're seeing here. So make sure you're always looking into that variation tab when you're sourcing a variation and making sure that what you're looking for is actually doing what you think it is. A few sales here, not a ton. Looks like we're going to be stretching it to get it profitably anyways. So let me do maybe one more here. And usually this is where I would look for one that's going to be a good fit, but we can't do that today because we're sourcing without a sales rank. So I'm going to just click this next one here and we'll hope for the best. Got some glow lift cream. If you need some glow lifter cream, this is what you want. And I would not consider this a ton of sales. Really high spike in our review count here, and again, I'm not really sure what causes that. It could be, the only thing I can think here is KEEPA, and I don't know this exactly how it works, but it's my understanding that KEEPA gathers data a couple ways, and Amazon updates the data. I think it's every hour. But KEEPA gathers data by scraping Amazon itself, but also by users like you and me. If you have the KEEPA extension, which hopefully you do, you should, at least if you don't, and when you're sourcing, it'll pop up the little chart here. And when a user like myself clicks into a product, KEEPA uses information from that user to update its information. So the only thing I could think that happened here was maybe it went for a while without updating, and that does happen, especially on stuff like we're sourcing with no sales rank, because KEEPA has a limited, they have to limit their use. I don't know how to explain this best, but they're not going to update products that are less popular as often as they update products. Like this product, for example, has no rank, so they're not going to update it as often as a product that has a 100,000 rank. So a product that's ranked 100,000 is going to be updated a lot more often than something like this. So the only thing I could think might have happened here was there are some sales happening, and because it had no sales rank, KEEPA hasn't updated it maybe recently, and I'm totally just talking off the wall here. This is just what I'm guessing. If you have a better theory, please let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious because this is definitely not merging with a parent ASIN here. This is a single variation product. And our review count jumped up from 46 to 58, which is pretty significant. So I'm guessing that's just it got updated. KEEPA found some new information and updated it. But let's see if we can find it for 24 bucks. Could be out of luck. I don't know if this is, no, this is definitely not the same product. And I don't even see what we're looking for anywhere. Let's do an image search just to try to pull all the strings we can. And actually, don't know anything about this source, but we might maybe be in luck. Hopefully, fingers crossed here. Uh, 1.17 ounce. I don't see where it says that anywhere in here, but I'm going to call this a match. Just looking at the box here, I would say that's probably a match. Whoops. But I'm not super sure on that, and I don't see. Okay, so 35 grams. Okay, we're going to call that a match. We can get it for $23.95, which is under cost, about a $9 profit here. Don't know anything about this source, and I've said it multiple times before. Make sure you're doing your research on your sources. So I would definitely, looks like they do take PayPal, which is just a tiny little glow of light at the end of the tunnel, but I would definitely do some more research, and it looks like they only got 2 in stock, which isn't a ton, and I'd have to look at shipping and stuff like that. But best case scenario, we can get it free shipped, and we'd be looking at a $9 profit here. Little unsure on the sell through just with that crazy spike in reviews. Let's see if our offer count shows anything different. Looks like maybe a few sales here. We got our stock counts are going up and down, so maybe some sales there. I'm not too sure. It'd be something that you'd have to test out, and I'm not necessarily going to call that a super win. Definitely not up to the standards that we are used to from these videos, but a little off the wall here today with the no sales rank, and I'm going to continue going through this as always. I always go through the entire list when I do these videos, and I oftentimes find a bunch of good leads. So make sure you follow through with your sourcing. And this is Desmond, ECoastArb. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you're a real, true player. And come back tomorrow for day 27. We're getting close to the end of our 30-day challenge here, but I am going to find a new subject to dive in on. And if you have any suggestions or anything you want to see, any kind of videos, something you'd like to know about, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to get it out for you. But thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, give me a content review. I don't know. Help me get my stuff out. I'm trying to communicate with some other sellers. Hit me in my DMs. Let's talk. Anything. Amazon. I don't care if you sell $10 million worth of products a year. I don't care if you haven't sold a single product yet. If you got some questions, let me know. I'm all ears. My DMs are open. I'm just genuinely trying to connect with some people, trying to build my network here. And if you're not doing that, you need to be. So see you tomorrow. Thanks.